Yo, Kelvin here. I am leaving my husband at the hospital after he refused to be in the delivery room with me. So, this story is a bit interesting, and there is a right, there's no right or wrong answer to this. And she is asking y'all for some opinion. So, this happened 2 months ago, but it's still causing major frictions in the family. So, I need some outside opinions. Hear that story and leave it in the comment section below what she should do. I, a 29-year-old female, and my husband Jake, a 32-year-old male, have been together for 6 years, married for 3. We were both ecstatic when we found out we were expecting our first child. Pregnancy was tough for me. Thought I had severe morning sickness, gestational diabetics, and was generally miserable. But Jake was supportive and sweat the whole way through, which made it bearable. As we got closer to my due date, we discussed birth plans. I was abundant that I wanted Jake in the delivery room. I needed his support, and he always agreed. However, a few weeks before my due date, Jake started acting strange. He was distant, distracted, and wouldn't engage in any baby related discussions. I thought he was just anxious about becoming a dad, so I didn't press him too much. The day went by, the day went into labor. Jake drove me to the hospital but seems off. He was quiet and kept checking his phone. When we got there, he pulled this nurse aside and spoke to her privately. She came back and told me Jake wouldn't be in the delivery room because he was uncomfortable with blood and medical procedure. I was stunned. He never mentioned this before. I begged him to stay. I told him I needed him, but he just kept saying, I can't do this. I was heartbroken and furious, but I didn't have much time to dwell on as my contractions were getting stronger. Jack said he'd be in the waiting room and kiss me on the forehead before leaving. I was left alone, crying and utterly abandoned. Labor was long, painful, and traumatic. I was alone in the entire time except for the medical staff. When our son was finally born, I was exhausted, emotionally and physically. The nurse handed me my son, and all I felt was deep sadness that Jake wasn't there to share this moment with him. After I was taken to a recovery room, I asked the nurse to get Jake. She came back and said he left the hospital hours ago. I couldn't believe it. I called him repeatedly, but he didn't answer. Finally, I sent him a text saying I was done and he could find his own way home. I didn't see him until the next day. He showed up at the hospital with flour and apology, saying he panicked and needed some air. He claimed he got home to shower and change and fell asleep, which I didn't buy for a second. I told him I didn't believe him. I was overwhelmed with anger and hurt, and I told him he had let me down in the worst possible way. He kept apologizing, saying he knew he messed up and he will do anything to make it right. I didn't want to hear him near me or our son at the moment, so I asked him to leave. He tried to protest, but I told him I needed time to process everything. He left and I spent the rest of my hospital stay alone with my baby, trying to grapple with the enormity of what had happened. Since then, Jay has been trying to make amends. He has been taking parenting classes, attending therapy, and is constantly trying to be present and supportive. But I can't shake the feeling of betrayal. He abandoned me at one of the most vulnerable moments of my life. Every time I look at him, I remember being alone in that delivery room, terrified and pain, wondering why the person who promised to be my side was not there. My family is a split. Something I've been too hard on Jake, that he made a mistake and is clearly remorseful. They say he is a good father and partner otherwise, and I should focus on moving forward for the sake of our child. Others think that what he did was unforgivable and I should leave him. They believe I never trusted him again. There's no foundation for a marriage. I am torn. I do still love him, and I know he loved me and our son, but part of me wonder if I ever get over this. Was it just a moment of weakness on his part or a sign of something deeper that I can't overlook? Yeah, what you guys think after you finish the story? All right, here's a couple thoughts. First is when he went to the delivery and driving the wife to the delivery room, right? He was constantly checking on his phone, and that made me think like maybe he's texting someone, maybe a friend or someone that he been talking to, and the person that he was talking to maybe like asked him to, hey, you gotta meet me at this place, this moment right now. So Jake made some lame excuse saying that, hey, I can't be at the delivery room with you right now. I need to go and get some fresh air. And no one like really just go home and change, take a bath, and fell asleep when your wife is having a kid. So that sounds pretty weird to me. Like, could someone be like this traumatized that he had to go home and take a shower and not be with the wife? And I also feel like really bad for the wife because delivering a baby, and that's such a pain. It is one of the lowest, most vulnerable moment a human being could explore, like a mother could experience. And Jake was just not there to support her at all. And then he didn't even see her until the next day. Imagine that. That is, I feel like it's very unforgivable because the mom carried the baby for 8 months. 8 months. 24/7, no break every single day, and wait for the baby to come out. And the day that the baby was born, the father is not there until the next day. Like, I just feel like there must be something going on with the baby, with Jake, trying to like, I don't know, trying to. I just think like Jake is cheating on something, right? I just can't really grasp, and I think the wife deserves to know the truth. Did did Jake really went home and that day took a shower because he was so anxious? And the story is they said that Jake was taking therapy and like baby classes, which is good steps. But on the day that he needed to be surrounded the most, he was not there. So that is just, yeah, hard to believe. But I was just going to continue to like work with Jake and find out exactly what happened that day. Did Jake really go home? That is the answer. Like Jake really go home, took a shower, and fell asleep. If I would look at the house camera and see if he went home. If he have like security cameras, that'd be great. Like prove his point that maybe Jake was just really, really, traumatized or scared of blood. Like people say, like some people are afraid of cats. They never can be around them. Some people maybe are just afraid of babies. Really, really hard to say, But I also promised my girlfriend, right, if she have baby, no matter what, I will stay in the delivery room because she carried it for a month, and I think it's my duty to also support her, um, because it is a very hard kind of moment for a woman to like deliver the baby, and it means the world to that person if the loved one is there. Like I remember, um, I got my wisdom teeth out, right, and my brother took me, but there was a very kind nurse that holding my hand while they lumped put IV injection into my fingers, and I hold the hand really tight, and I feel more comfortable and more secure, and I think it's that kind of like support. It just brings a lot of comfort. It made the world a lot better, less painful, right? Without the support, it made the world a lot more painful, a lot more dark. But yeah, that's my thought on it. But leave in the comment section below what you guys think about the story. Who is wrong here? Who did Jack really like sort of just stay there, or did he sort of just be a man up, stay there, or went home? Leave me in the comment section below. But yeah, my name is Calvin, and I see you guys next one.